Welcome. My name's Melanie Carter, and this is the story of how my own family betrayed me, and how I turned their treachery into one of the most satisfying victories of my life. If you've ever faced a betrayal that shook you to your core, I want you to listen closely, because sometimes life gives us a chance to turn heartbreak into strength, and to come back stronger than anyone ever imagined. Not out of spite, not out of revenge, but out of an unshakable belief that we are worth more than the way others may treat us. Let me take you back to where it all began. 7 years ago, I started a tech company with nothing more than a dream and a laptop. I wasn't some hotshot CEO with fancy degrees from Harvard or Stanford. Just a woman with an idea, a vision, and a relentless drive to bring that vision to life. No outside investors, no big-name mentors, just grit, determination, and an unshakable work ethic. I poured everything into that business. My time, my energy, my life savings. There were days I didn't sleep, nights I fell asleep at my desk. Weekends were just another workday. I coded, pitched, designed, and marketed with every ounce of energy I had. The first year, there were no profits, just hope. The second year, we started gaining traction. Customers began noticing us. Word spread. The product was good, really good, and the market responded. But as the company grew, so did the demands. I couldn't do it all alone anymore. I needed help, but not just any help. I needed people I could trust with my life's work. So, naturally, I turned to family. My brother, my cousin, my uncle. People I had known all my life. People who, I believed, had my back no matter what. I brought them in, gave them roles that matched their skills. I wasn't stingy. They got good salaries, stock options, and bonuses. I gave them opportunities to grow alongside the company. I wanted us to win together. And for a while, it felt like we were. We began landing major contracts, big-name clients, industry awards. The media took notice. Features in tech publications, interviews on podcasts. Investors started circling. Our company valuation climbed into the millions. It was everything I had worked so hard for, finally becoming real. But with success, something else started creeping in, something I hadn't anticipated. Greed. I started noticing subtle shifts, whispers in the hallway, private meetings I wasn't invited to, emails being left out of important chains, documents edited without my knowledge. At first, I brushed it off. You're just being paranoid, I told myself. They're your family. They'd never do that to you. But the feeling wouldn't go away. Deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Then came the day that changed everything. One crisp Tuesday morning, I arrived at the office as usual, coffee in hand, ready to dive into the next big project. But something was off. My keycard wouldn't open the door. Strange. I tried. Again. Nothing. I pulled out my phone to check. Email, locked out. I tried accessing our internal systems, denied. Panic set in. I called the IT manager, no answer. I called my brother, straight to voicemail. I rushed upstairs and was stopped at the entrance by security. My title as CEO gone. My access revoked. No warning. No conversation. Just a cold, calculated coup. My own flesh and blood had pushed me out of the very company I had built from nothing. The devastation was indescribable. I felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest. I cried for days. Couldn't eat. Could barely get out of bed. The betrayal wasn't just professional. It was deeply personal. This wasn't some rival company or a shady investor. This was my brother, my cousin, my uncle, the people I had trusted the most, the people I had brought in out of love. But after the initial shock wore off, something inside me shifted. A fire ignited. A voice inside whispered, "No, this is not how my story ends." What they had forgotten, or perhaps never realized, was that I still held the majority of the company's shares. 51%. I had given them generous stock but not controlling power. The heart of the company, the vision, the product, the strategy was still mine. And now, I would use that to my advantage. I quietly reached out to an old contact, a private equity firm that had once expressed interest in buying us out. I explained what had happened. They moved fast. They knew the value wasn't just in the technology. It was in the leadership, the vision, the foundation I had built. In a matter of days, we negotiated a deal. I would sell my 51% stake for $75 million. It was all perfectly legal. No need to warn them. No need to explain. The moment the deal closed, ownership transferred. I signed the documents with a steady hand. And then, the news broke. My phone lit up like fireworks on New Year's Eve. 25 missed calls. Texts pouring in. "Please call us back. We need to talk." What's going on? What was going on? They were being fired. The new owners took immediate control. One by one, my former family partners were escorted out of the building. Their emails shut down. Their company cars returned. The empire they thought they had stolen crumbled beneath them. It wasn't about revenge, not really. It was about reclaiming my power and my peace. They had tried to break me, and instead they lost everything. And I walked away with $75 million. And my dignity. Looking back now, I don't feel anger. I feel clarity. They taught me one of life's hardest lessons. Not everyone you love will have your back. Sometimes, the deepest betrayals come from those closest to you. And when that happens, you have two choices. Let it break you, or let it build you. I chose the second path. I could have let that betrayal define me. Instead, I used it as fuel. I invested that money into new ventures. I built new companies, ones where I carefully chose my partners, where loyalty, integrity, and trust were the cornerstones of our culture. I surrounded myself with people who understood that success means nothing if it comes at the expense of your values. And today, I'm more successful and more fulfilled than I ever was before. So if you're listening to this and you've been betrayed by friends, by partners, even by family, know this. You are stronger than you think. You have more power than you realize. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about rising so high that those who tried to tear you down can't even reach you anymore. Build a life so good, they can't even touch it. That is the moral of my story. Thank you for listening.